Adam, you took my pen.
Dot, dot.
All right, we're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. I've asked Councilman Smith to lead us in prayer and pledge tonight. Are we on?
Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for today. We ask you that you will be with us and the leaders of our nation to do what will glorify your name and do the best for the business of the people. Forgive us, Lord, of our many sins and ask you to be with us again. Amen. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we could have roll call, please.
Lamar,
Here.
Shropshire,
Here.
Bradshaw, Bashir,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Trammell,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Smith.
Thank you.
We have one petition from the audience, Ms. Marshall. So we're going to go ahead and give you your 5 minutes.
Okay, I can talk 5 minutes.
Hang on, sorry, we're upside down here.
First off, I want to just say it's been a very good year for Pryor. Just being a Pryorite is the best thing in the world. The school's been really great. We've won all kinds of records and done all kinds of things. And I know that everybody in Pryor wants to be part of the community of helping people. And I have a suggestion. I'm not sure if everybody knows, but the Mays County Grace Foundation, we oversee what we call the blessing boxes in town. And there are 3 of them. And the blessing boxes are they're only about that wide, about that deep, and they hold food for people, food items. But every day I drive by, they're empty. And I do my best to fill them out. I know there's at least 4 or 5 people that help. And what it is it maybe look full and you think, oh, I don't need to put anything in there. But one person could take it all out. So what I do is I try to do like 1 box, and then the next time I'll do another box, and then the 3rd box. What you can put in there is non-perishable foods. Canned items, preferably things that don't need a can opener. Most of these people are going to walk by. They're walking to these boxes. And they need things that they can fix right then. They may not have access to a pot to boil macaroni, but they could probably find a microwave. I know that one of the things that I put in them is the Roman ramen noodles, whatever they're called. You can get 5 in a package for $1.50. You can open up that package, put it in that box that could feed 1 person 5 days. It could feed 1 family for 1 night. You can put things in like spaghetti sauce and mix them in with the noodles, the ramen noodles. But they just need snacks. They need but no perishables. Their boxes are hot. They're out in the open, and when the bread gets hard, it's just not a good thing. I go through each one of the boxes, and I make sure there's nothing that is outdated. And even though some things are good for outdated, we just prefer not to have that. And if it's, things like people, I know they have a good heart, but they'll put things in like garbanzo beans and cranberry sauce. I'm sorry, but nobody really wants garbanzo beans and cranberry sauce, especially in July or whatever. But what I'm just asking for the community to find it in your heart. I know it's Christmas, but these blessing boxes are out all year long, and they need to be filled. And I know some of the people that utilize them, and they need them. And if you could just fill 1 box up a month, for 1 day in the month, I would appreciate it. I know that people are listening. I have addresses, and I don't know if they can hear, but it's 33 Southeast 9th Street. That's the one that's just down from McDonald's, and it's really hard. People don't want to stop there, so what you'll do, you're going to pull inside behind the duplexes. You'll pull in, turn around, and have your car facing 9th Street. That way, when you pull out, you can just pull onto 9th Street instead of backing into 9th Street. Then the other one is 17 South Kauai on the corner, which is over by the police station. And the 25 North End is right across, right in the yard of the Open Door venue. I would appreciate if the community could just help us. It's just an added thing that you could get a blessing for. That's all I have for you.
Thank you.
And hygiene products are rich.
Oh, yeah, hygiene
So,
products too.
thank you so much. I just want to make a quick note on that, because I think it's relevant to the conversation. We have a couple of our church groups and other nonprofits in town that have worked really hard to put together a list of where to go to get a hot meal on what days of the week and where some of those resources are at. We try to keep that paper, it's a paper document. We try to keep it here and we try to keep it at the library. We've also had them at times at the police department. Those are for the public. If we don't have any out and you know somebody that needs one, let us know. We can print them off again, but those are very up to date, and there's been a lot of work that's gone into that for those who are in need or for those who need some of those resources. We want to make sure we do our best to take care of what we can. So, all right, thank you. Well, that said, we'll move on to the consent agenda. I know there's a few items that we need to pull.
J and K, please.
J and K.
O, P, Q, R, and T.
O, P, Q.
R, and T.
Okay. Any others?
I.
I. All right.
D and E.
Listen, all right. D and E. So, any more? Then I need a motion to approve A, B, C, F, G, H, L, M, N, S.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion from Choya and a second from Brashears. Can you call for the vote?
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Okay, item D, approve the appointment of Marty Ward to Planning and Zoning Board of Adjustment, Seat 5, term expiring August 21, 2028.
Motion.
Second.
All right, I got a motion from Brashears and a second from Choya.
Yeah, I don't really have an issue. The reason I pulled these is, we have a number of boards and a number of people who are appointed, and they are appointed by you, confirmed by the council, and they're often not here, and it's not necessarily a problem. I was just thinking it might be appropriate for the public to, I guess, hear why you're appointing them and like what you, I mean, just basically
Yeah,
why they're appointed.
so let's talk about Marty Ward. Very few people are unaware of who Marty Ward is. He is the owner of Big Electric. He's got several rental properties throughout the town. He does a lot of work and probably been in just about everybody's home. Marty came to me a while back and said that he would really love to serve the city. We know that some of these committees have individuals that don't live physically in the city limits, but they work here, they have properties here, they are very much a part of our community. I know at one time it would have been very hard to find a Little League soccer team that didn't have Big Electric on it. And so Marty's been asking for a couple of years to fill a seat, and some of those boards do have requirements that you have to live in the city limits. And on this one, position came open, I talked to Marty and he said, I would love to serve there. So that's why we're putting Marty on it. Any further discussion?
I think it'd be hard for us to find anybody that cares about the community any more than him.
Yes, and very knowledgeable about all of these things, so I wholeheartedly would stand behind that appointment. Call for the vote?
Shropshire,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar.
Yes.
Item E, approve the appointment, Sherry Alexander to the Economic Development Trust Authority, seat number 7, for the remainder of the term expiring January 13th, 2029.
I'll make the motion.
I got a motion from Choya and a second from Terry Lamar.
Okay.
Oh, that's just the same question. Although I noticed this one came with a resume. Did you send out that resume?
It's in the, it
Yes.
should have been in the packet, but yes, I
Yeah.
sent the resume out.
But anyway, just same question.
Same question. Adam, you're the chair of the EDTA. I'll tell you, you'll find again kind of the same thing, same scenario. Mrs. Alexander does a lot for our community. She's involved in quite a few things. Very knowledgeable about the economic development of the region, the Tulsa region, and the state of Oklahoma. What a better opportunity for us to bring that into a board that is the economic
That was
development.
our thought with recommending Ms. Alexander to the board. So,
Okay.
was her background, and like Mayor said, what better person to help us guide businesses as they're looking to locate in Pryor than somebody that is actively engaged in attracting employers to the area, so.
Okay.
And again, the whole purpose of that is just transparency, so everyone has an opportunity to know.
All right, call for the vote.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Okay. Item I, approve hotel motel grant final expense report from Santa's Christmas Village, held December 6, 2025, in the amount of $220. The application was approved in the amount of $250.
Motion.
Have a motion from Brashears,
I'll second.
second from Tyler. Discussion? Did you have anything on that, Terry? Okay, call for the vote.
Tyler,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Abstain.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Item J, approve waiving the Graham Community Building rental fees for Santa's Christmas Village to be held November 29th through December 7th, 2026.
Motion.
Second.
Motion from Toya, second from Brown. Tyler, Brown? Sorry.
I have little problem waiving the rental fees, if that's what it comes to, but I really appreciate the fact that it went through the hotel motel and the city was able to generate $220 revenue instead of having to just lose $220 into the wind. I think it's a great community event. I just wanted to submit the application, and then if it doesn't go through, then we can start talking about waiving, but up to that point, I'd like them to try to, I'd like the city to generate some revenue off of it if we can.
So maybe a no action on that right now and.
Sure.
Hotel motel?
Yeah.
Would you be willing to change your, did you hear what he was saying?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to put an application for it.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
When Mr. Taylor came up here, he was asking it, if I recall right, to be waived, whatever, and Mr. Brown had mentioned to go through the motel tax. And he did, and he was approved for that money. So since the city paid him for it out of the hotel motel tax, why are we waiving it when we already gave him $220 to do it?
It's next year's.
That's for,
That's for next year.
that's for 2026.
Oh, I guess it is.
And that's all I'm asking is.
My
go through
mistake,
Same process.
Yeah,
my mistake.
no, it's okay.
Yeah, I'll amend my motion.
Okay.
So amend,
For the
we
26th.
have the amend the motion to no action.
So can I make a comment?
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, this Graham Community Building, we're renting it out. We have got to stop waiving these fees. We've got to start generating revenue off of our facilities. And I get that these are useful causes. I support these causes. We've got to start treating these buildings like a business entity, start generating the revenue, stop waiving the fees so we can take better care of these facilities. This is asinine that every time we have something like this, we waive the fees.
So let me ask this, would it make more sense, jump in at any point if you want to, if we waived the fees for Mr. Claus?
Taylor?
Taylor, yeah. I didn't want to ruin the magic of the moment. We waive the fees for that, and then the application goes to the hotel motel to reimburse the city.
I think we talked about that they have to submit it. I don't think the city can submit to the hotel motel before. Otherwise, I understand what you're saying, just let the city do the work, but I think we decided that it had to come from an entity first and then back to the city. That we can't take from the hotel motel pot from the city itself.
So in other words, what we're saying is that instead of waiving it, he pays it and is reimbursed through the hotel motel.
Yes.
Does everybody understand how that that ideology is to work.
Did he ask to have this put on the agenda tonight to waive it for next year?
I would imagine if it's on there.
Who did it?
What do you mean?
You imagine he did. Did he
Well,
not
we didn't
request
just pull
it?
it out of the air. So my guess is he called Jay and had Jay put it on there.
Okay.
Yeah, I know she's talked to him, so, yeah.
I think, I mean, to Charles's point, I think it's just, we just need to get in the motions of just saying,
Right.
sure. If it doesn't go through the hotel motel, then maybe we can discuss it,
Yeah.
but start that process maybe.
Well, I think that's a good idea. I mean, it worked for us. It works, so. Any further discussion, or we still want to do a no action?
So it's a no action?
Yeah. I amend my
Okay,
choice.
so both have been,
I have one more point to bring up about it.
yes, sir.
And I don't recall if K was on the list or not.
It is.
Okay, it's separate then, okay, all right. Never mind.
Call for the vote.
Trammell,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Oh, excuse me. I changed that to abstain.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
All right, thank you. Item K, approve waiving Graham Community Building rental fees for the Pryor Area Arts and Humanities Annual Northeast Oklahoma Artist Show to be held October 16th through the 24th of '26.
Make a motion for no action based upon this last conversation.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second for no action. Further discussion?
who was the second?
Charles, I'm sorry. Tyler had the motion, Charles had the second. If there's no further discussion, then motion will stay. We'll call for the vote.
Steve,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Item O, approve the municipal utility board's recommendation to increase the residential electric rate inside the corporate city limits from 0.0810 per kilowatt hour to 0.0830 per kilowatt hour within the minimum accordance with the rate effective January 26 billing.
Motion is stated.
Motion Motion from Tyler, second from Choi. Mr. Crisp?
All right, it's that time of year again. This is the second rate of a 3-year rate increase that GRD has done based on their cost of service study. After 3 years, they're going to relook and see where they're at. And it could be a 4th and a 5th year, but we kind of, as a customer group, they started off at 5 years. We was like, no, there's a lot of unknowns out there right now. So 3 years would probably be your best bet. I mean, it could bite us in the long run or it could help us. I mean, I don't know, but there's a lot of variables out there right now in the electric industry. So we told them we feel more comfortable with the 3-year and push it towards October because they started talking about July and August, and it was kind of, yeah, we don't want to do that because it's kind of hard to get a rate increase and it's the hottest parts of the year. So they worked with us. They did 3 years. So this is year 2. So I wanted to wait with this one and with the next item, which is P. Because I only want to hit you one time only, because after we talked, the last time I was here, Mr. Trammell asked if we just kind of hit it one time, if any. So we carried this for the last 3 months. It hit October 1st. I gave you in your packet, I provided you basically what our cost would be before and after with the existing rates. So, I mean, as you can see, if you all want to see, I got copies. It's going to hit us. We're going to have to eat $155,000 if we don't do anything right now. So we basically right now we've ate up to $31,000 for the October, November, December. So it's time for us to kind of look into. We need to kind of recoup some of that money, and the wholesale rate increase basically is a 4.1%, and what we're looking at is increasing at 2.5%, which will be at 0.002 cent increase of 0.081 to 0.083. You know, 0.002 doesn't sound much, but when you're talking about us having to buy 110 million kilowatt hours, it starts getting up there. So basically your average customer uses 1,000 kilowatt hours, okay? So 1,000 kilowatt hours times 0.02 will be a $2 increase you'll see on your bill. I kind of did a customer ranking. I did my top 25 customers for commercial, residential, landlords and stuff. We're only talking residential, so the top user, number one user for the last 12 months, they used 70,000, basically 70,000 kilowatt hours, which is a whole lot because if you figure your average customer uses 12,000, that's quite a bit. But when you do the math, it's about $141 and some change per year, so it's like $11.70 increase a month. So that was for the top user. So then I thought, well, 70,000 seems like a whole lot. Let's drop down and see that the number 25 user. So I went from 70,000 to 37,000 and some change. So he basically went to $625 a month. So that's kind of where we're at. This will also take effect to our, if approved tonight, I'll take it to the council, to my board for the commercial side. And we'll do the same increases on the commercial side of 0.002 for the energy charge. And then there'll be a little bit difference for the demand. So with that, I guess that would be my, well, I did do some research. I hit Google AI this morning, right before I came. I was like, all right, what's the average residential electric rate across the state of Oklahoma? You know, it did is still using all that power. You know, keep hitting that, Google AI keeps hitting that power. But average in Oklahoma is 12 to 12.5 cents a kilowatt hour. So we're looking at 0.083, but then you got to add the PCA charge, which is averaging about 0.025 or less. So right now we're about 10.9 cents. So we're well under the average. I would figure if you did a study, we would probably still be bottom 5 for sure, bottom 10 in the state. And really, electricity is kind of hard to compare because cities are set up different because, you know, as you guys know, you guys are based on sales tax and what you get from the utility department. And every city's different from how much they get from their electric side or their water side or their sewer side. So everybody's set up different. So it's kind of hard to compare. I would say the ones that are averaging 12 to 12.5 cents, their general fund amount, they get a lot more from their utility department. So that's kind of where we're at, and I will entertain any questions you may have of me.
I appreciate you guys eating the last 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know you and I talked after GRDA's board meeting, and you said you weren't gonna bring it till January.
Right.
From a city perspective, from a citizen perspective, I guess that's appreciated.
Well, I mean, nobody wants to see an increase. I don't want to hit you guys with increases, and I took Mr. Trammell's words last time when he said, when I came in July of the year before, or June, I don't know. So I ate the water for 6 months and I ate this one for 3 months. It's kind of hard for me to keep eating because, you know, we got to pay our bills, we got to pay our employees, so that pot's coming out of something that is getting depleted, and I dang sure can't eat 155,000. That's quite a bit of money. And of course, that depends on if it's gonna be relative, because if you have a hot summer and a cold winter, that 155 could be 250. If it's mild, it could be 125. I mean, it's kind of been mild the past couple years per se, except you might have a couple instances where you have a couple 3-4 days where it's just shock and awe weather, but other than that, we've been kind of mild. But like I said, I'll answer any questions.
I guess my concern is, you know, I've heard everything you said tonight. Only $2 a month, you know, only $2 a month to a lot of people right now is too much. And I get you're just passing costs on. I think we need to relook a lot of relationships this city has with local utility providers at this point. Inflation is killing our residents, and this is just adding to it. We cannot keep doing this. We can't. We've got to figure out a way for this city, not mine, but maybe this city, to begin absorbing a lot of these costs to help our citizens. I don't know what the answer is tonight. I'm gonna vote no tonight. I don't support this rate increase at this point. To Tyler's point, I appreciate what you've done as MUD to absorb it, but I'm not willing to continue passing these costs on to our citizens who are struggling to feed their families at this point.
I'll say inflation goes across electric rates and utility rates too, though. I mean, it's a, I'm not explaining anything to you, I don't wanna talk down to you. I mean,
No, I
it goes
get that.
everywhere, and if we're in the top, I have seen the numbers that Jared's talking about, I know where we rank municipal-wise as far as our power, and it is one of the lowest in the state.
And it's only gonna get worse as we build these data centers. It's just, it's the residents that's gonna get hit to pay for the utilities going to all these new data centers going on around. We've got to figure out a solution here. We've got to.
I don't want to argue the side of the data center side because I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there on the data centers. I can tell you as a GRDA customer, with the new data centers that may or may not be coming on the GRDA side, as a customer, we're pushing GRDA that we're not going to eat that cost for those data centers. They got to pony up for that capacity. So there's a lot of misconception out there on Facebook and the media about these data centers. I mean, you're on one side or the other. You may believe it, you may not. I mean, from what I'm hearing and sitting in my spot now and sitting on the GRDA board, I know it's just, I work for the customer, for municipal customers on the GRDA side. I'm fighting to keep the rates low, but they got to do the same thing and pay their employees, or they're going to, I mean, they're losing a lot to the co-ops and the IOUs. It's like we train them, it's kind of like us, we train them and then they go off somewhere else. So, I mean, you got to pay your employees. I understand $2 may not be a lot, I may not, but it's better than me sitting here holding it, and then I'm going to hit you for a $10 and then you're really going to be mad. So, I see where you're coming from, but I got to operate how I operate, and I think we're pretty low, and we do a pretty good job of maintaining our system. I mean, I feel like we're Johnny on the spot when we
And you
get
don't
calls
have-
after hours, so.
And you don't have to worry about your power being on most of the time. It's gonna be on, or it's gonna be back on pretty quick.
You know, they gotta live within a 30-minute radius of our warehouse once they get called, so they're,
Well, let me ask this, if this were voted down, what would change in the next year? If the rate increase was not passed, what would change on MUB's side in the next
They
year?
continue to eat the cost.
Well, I know that, but like,
And
what's
for
the,
the-
what,
for
but
the
what's
city-
what's the effect?
The trickle effect for the city is I bet that the amount of income that we get from MUB is probably not gonna be there. Because how are they going to continue, they have to pay their bills, and if they,
Well, and I'm asking,
I'm not
Where
gonna
the
hold
rubber
anybody,
meets the
I'm not
road.
gonna hold anybody for hostage. I just think it's,
Well, what would happen if you decided you're not gonna pay $2 and something for a gallon of gas? How far would you go?
well, I mean from an operational side of it.
I'm just saying, if inflation has brought the fuel prices up to that point, and we
Well,
just,
I'm gonna drive less.
we're not gonna buy gas anymore, where would you end up?
Well, but that.
I mean, I'm not gonna hold anybody hostage. We provide you guys money. If I don't get
We
that,
give a lot of money too.
huh?
We give MUB a lot of our sales tax. We gave you 1.4 million last year.
And that's part of the reason why our rates are so low is because we have that half-cent sales tax, which that was voted on by the people for the treatment plant back in 1988. So
I guess.
that allows us to, so let me tell you this, so if we didn't have that half-cent sales tax back when Walmart came into town, south of town, guess what? They'd be gone. You'd be way down. I'm not here to argue.
Well, no, but I guess the essence of my question is apparently coming across as argumentative, but it's not. My question was, this doesn't pass, what changes day to day with MUB over the next year? Do you lay off employees? Do you not get certain equipment? Like what in?
So what I wanna stop
That's all,
doing,
that's all I said.
I'm gonna
That's all I
stop-
meant by that.
probably offering my guys up for Main Street because I pay for their overtime to set the panels, pull the panels.
Okay.
I get no reimbursement. So some of the stuff that I do for the city is gonna be pulled back.
How about the $750,000 you give to us?
Well, I mean, that's up to my board, you know?
But I mean, you could still cut into that to pay
Right.
the difference.
And I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to hold anybody hostage.
I think the thing we need to look at is, you know, and I'm gonna kind of I don't want to say play the devil's advocate here, but, you know, MUB has an operational cost, and he has been eating those costs. We're still, like Tyler said, I guarantee you, we are one of the lowest in the state. I just left a meeting that I've been in since about 4 o'clock with other cities that are in similar situations with data centers and things like that. And I guarantee you, when I told them what my utility bill is for my home, they were floored, flabbergasted, and said that their water was more than my complete bill. I think what we have right now is it's a cost of doing business. You know, same reason Brahms is going to raise the price of milk. They've got to pay more to transport the cows. They got to pay more for the drivers. We saw this here on our stuff. Our insurance rates went up. Our premiums go up. All of these things go up. The employees have a value. I'm with Tyler on this one. I'm grateful as a citizen that you took that for us for a little while. But I do think that, you know, we still need to remember, I get it, and I am 100% sympathetic to what you said, Mr. Trammell, but we have.
You don't need to be sympathetic to me, you need to be sympathetic to the people who are not feeding their children tonight.
I get that. What I'm saying is, to the things that you're saying, I get it. I get it that there are people that are struggling, but I also know that the cost of living is hurting everybody across the nation, and the increases are just part of doing that business, part of the operations.
Mayor, is the way I take this is not something that we need to increase because we want to buy something else. This is a pass-off. I look at that right?
Basically, this is a pass-through for me to recoup what it's gonna cost me to do business with. I mean, this is just coming from my wholesale provider.
Is this the only provider that's an option to us as a city?
From 20 till 2042, yes. Our contracts are in, but, I mean, you gotta realize, you've got AEP, PSO, you've got KMO, you've got the co-ops, we've got GRD, transmission lines are all around us, they feed us, they're our customer. You may not like it, but all the others are gonna be more. I mean, we're fortunate that we have GRDA as a provider. I'm not just saying that because we are now, but I mean, we're pretty fortunate to have what we've got. I mean, they do a lot for the community as well, as far as Main Street stuff, chamber stuff, events, all sorts of stuff. They bought that smart board for you guys. You know, they do a lot for their communities.
I think they've paid quite a substantial amount for Placer AI and some other things as well.
Yeah, I mean, they do a lot for their communities. I know people are struggling, but we struggle too. I mean, we're not eating, we can't hardly eat it because I gotta pay my staff. I gotta pay for insurance. I've gotta do this, I've gotta do that, pay maintenance. You're right on the half-cent sales tax, but like I said, that half-cent sales tax, I got $6 million in projects for the next 2-3 years, and like you mentioned, that only bringing in 1.4 million. So I think we're fortunate the way we're set up. I mean, a lot of other cities are not. I know I got a lot of city managers call me going, you need to raise your rates. You need to raise your rates in here because their rates are so high, and they, you know, people look, they do kind of studies. MISO does studies for people and shows that we're down there at the bottom. So, I mean, we can keep beating this horse, and I mean, I just say call for the vote and see where it lays.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire.
Yes.
Rushiers,
No.
Tyler,
Yes.
Trammell,
No.
Brown,
Yes.
Item P, approve the municipal utility board's recommendation to increase the residential water rates inside the corporate city limits from $5.27 per 1,000 gallons to $5.45 per 1,000 gallons, with the minimum in accordance with the rate effective January 26 billing.
Motion is stated.
Second.
We have a motion from Tyler Brown and a second from Steve Brown.
Brown.
I provided you guys with my summary of the top, or the 20 cities around, so I say cities, rural water districts and all that, and you hear this spiel again. We're fortunate because we got all 4 utilities, so we can kind of spread our what we provide to the general fund, to you guys throughout. Some of these, you know, they only got water and they got to deal with that. So, we got hit. It's time for us to pass this on. I was asking for a little more. I was asking for an extra 6 cents, but I can survive with 0.12. I was just trying to recoup what I ate because we lost about 20,000 from 6 months eating it. So, I mean, I would be okay taking it down to 0.12 if you guys want. So, I would not have a problem. So that would, I guess you could call it the Scribner's error to 5.27 to 5.39 if you would like.
Is there not another rate increase coming from them, though?
They're gonna increase rates for the next, till 2029 at least, twice a year. So,
As the holder of the motion, I'm just gonna leave it at 5.45 for right now.
okay. I mean, we're talking 18 cents and at 5 units, a typical user, 90 cents. I did the same study with my top residential user. So you figure 5 times 12, 60 units is 60,000 gallons. I kind of got a kick out of this one. This was 469 units, which would be 469,000 gallons that this number one use. It's a lot in my mind. $84 a year, $7 a month. So with that, I will say of the 20 that I've done here, 19 that I've done, or 20 I've done here, Grove finally jumped in the mix and beat us by $1.15 a month for an average user, but
Your average increase on a user is probably gonna be less than $1 a month?
yeah,
I don't know what, but I'm just trying to run the
90
math in my head.
cents.
Okay,
18 cents times 5,000 gallons, which is 5 units, is 90 cents.
okay.
But with that, I'm not gonna come back to you in July, because I told you guys I wouldn't. So, I'm just gonna,
I think you need to run your business appropriately.
well, I mean, I'm here to work with the city, you know, so,
So let me ask you this,
yes, sir.
that rate is basically an average for what it costs divided by the number of meters, right?
So if you wanna know, I've got 4,779 water customers.
So when we talk about the water, I think something that Pryor needs to kind of stick our chest out and be proud of is our water loss rate is a lot lower than, my gosh, Salina's at what, like
Oh, wow.
40% right now?
So we're at,
Loss,
I just did that.
meaning more of that water is getting directly used with less waste that we're not having to pay for, correct?
We're at 13.6% water loss. When we consider water loss, you can consider age of infrastructure, age of meters. When you put a new line in, you're flushing the hydrants out. Those are unmetered stuff. Whenever we provide, like to the school contractors, we might just allow them to pull water out because, you know, we like to work with the school too because they're a good customer, just as well as the city's a good customer. I mean, we all like to work together, so I am happy that I'm at 13.6, but my goal is to get another 10.
Yeah, but even you gotta fight fire too.
Well, you don't have them on fire, you know, fire.
Yeah.
And the fire department's going around, they do yearly, there's pressure tests, and, I mean,
Sure.
there's a lot of unallocated water loss, but, I mean, all I can say to the public is if you see us standing water in the curb, standing water in the grass, call us, because we're gonna check it. You should know that if it's, 100 degrees outside and you see a pond of water and it's not irrigation on some grass, guess what? We got a leak somewhere.
I guess what I'm getting at with that is, I know, Chase, I know you'll, every time I talk to some of these other mayors and other communities in Mays County that even neighbor us, they are constantly repairing water line breaks. They're constantly shutting the water off. I know poor Salina, I'm gonna put him on the spot. Literally every time I talk to him weekly, they're shutting off a water main to fix a broken pipe. Their infrastructure, Shoto's infrastructure is so under par that what I'm getting at is what we have is what we're paying for. We have minimal, and I think most of that is accountable water lossage, where we're not having to shut our water off to fix mains weekly, literally weekly. We've got good infrastructure, and when that water's there, we have it. And so I think we get what we pay for on this.
Well, for Salinas, some of their reasoning is they're building on rock. So we're fortunate we got, I would say half of our town's on clay, so water's gonna come up after it percolates so much in the clay, fully saturates it. On that side, it's gonna find rock veins and whatnot, and rocks it's gonna drain away and you can't see it. So, I mean,
Salina had one that they just discovered about a year, maybe 2 years ago. They thought it was a natural spring for like 30 years.
but we are gonna be changing that lines too, because if you don't maintain your infrastructure, you're gonna, that 13.9% loss is gonna go down to 25 and 30. And I think I was talking to a rural water district, they're like at 45.
Yep, we sure are.
Gentlemen you eat with.
Mhm.
Four to 27.
Who do you eat with?
Gene Miller. I think it's number 6.
5? I think he's number 5. 8 there, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't, Shoto's the same way. Their water pressure,
tough.
their water lines can't support their community, so.
But, and then on their flip side, they've got, you know, their water guys doing some gas, there's doing some park. I mean, we're fortunate that we have manpower to be able to handle what we've got and be able to extend what we need to for this, for new companies coming in.
All right, we will call for the vote.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Rushiers,
No.
Brown,
Yes.
Trammell,
No.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item Q, accept a bid in the amount of $2,878.48 from Trammell Family Lawn for the abatement of the property at 317 North Mays, to be paid from real property acquisition reserve nuisance abatement account 4646554450. One other bid was received from Custom Cuts Lawn Care in the amount of $2,900. Total of 19 bid packets were distributed, and the opportunity was posted on the city website.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion from Choya and a second from Tyler. We'll call for the vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Trammell,
Abstain.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Item R, accept a bid in the amount of $550 from Custom Cuts Lawn Care for the abatement of the property at 405 Southeast Fifth, to be paid from real property acquisition reserve nuisance abatement account 4646554450. One other bid was received from Trammell Family Lawn Care in the amount of $3,894.52. A total of 19 bid packets were distributed, and the opportunity was posted on the city website.
Motion.
The motion from Choya,
Second.
second from Rushiers. You can call for the vote.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Trammell,
Abstain.
Steve,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Item T, accept a bid in the amount of $450 from Custom Cuts Lawn Care for the abatement of property at 200 Northeast 4th, to be paid from real property acquisition reserve nuisance abatement account 4646554450. One other bid was received from the Trammell Family Lawn Care in the amount of $594.72. Total of 19 bid packets were distributed, and the opportunity was posted on the city website.
Motion.
Second.
Motion from Choya and a second from Rushiers. I just want to make sure that everybody understands that the abatement process is in full drive, and these guys are working really hard to get things kind of cleaned up. We're seeing a lot of progress again through our community, so. With that said, we'll call for the vote.
Tyler,
Yes.
Trammell,
Abstain.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
All right, we'll go on to the mayor's report. Item 4A, discussion regarding Christmas decorations. So, want to kind of explain to everybody what's happening this year, what our plans are, and kind of one of the situations that we've got specifically regarding the Christmas lights at the park. I absolutely want to start this by saying that I think, and I know Choya, you've helped with those a lot in the past. That's a very traditional thing for Pryor. What we've got are Christmas lights and decorations that are starting to see their age. From my understanding, we bought those somewhere around 2000. And if you go back and you look through the years, we've paid well over $100,000 to maintain and get the lights on those every year. In a 25-year period, 5 times its value is kind of concerning. And where we're at now is the lady Becky Clark, I kept wanting to say Young, I'm sorry, Becky Clark, has put a lot of time and effort into that. But that was, last year was her last year to do that. And so she was not available this year. When we talked to Frank and his group, we talked about those. Some of those figures, you know what I mean when I say figures, is that right?
Decoration.
We're starting to see where their age is showing. So welds are breaking, the wires are thinning out. A lot of those in the past have been damaged through vandalism and have had to be taped and pieced together. And without having Becky this year or others, it didn't happen. And so the discussion that we've had is, you know, if there was time to get them up, then Frank was going to try to get them up, and that didn't happen due to the things that they've got going on. But we have talked extensively about what it looks like going forward, and there's a couple of options that I think we need to really discuss, because we want to make sure that we provide that experience for everybody that loves to have that element of their Christmas. It's I think Hannah used the word beloved. Is that the word you used today? It's a beloved thing. And so one of the options is maybe it's time to start with some new decorations at the park that are not going to cost us $5,000 to $8,000 a year in labor alone, plus whatever Frank's 4 guys have to put in the 3 days to install them and the couple of the days to take them down, wrap them up, and put them away in manpower on additional to that $5,000 to $8,000. You know, there are things that we can do that are easier, that might, one of the ideas was something that might encourage people to get out and walk the trails, maybe light up the trails with lights between the lights, wreaths, trees. There's 100 other things we could do that would allow us to kind of start from scratch without having to spend ridiculous amounts of money as we're trying to watch our funding going forward. If you remember a few years ago when we really started digging into the budget, those were all things that were taken out of the budget because we didn't really have any other choice. And in the park board meeting last night, there was some opportunity for clarification that some of those people thought that came out of the park budget. That money did not come out of the park budget. That never was funded out of the park's budget. That all came out of the general fund, out of the 02, 201 accounts. So, you know, we need to look at that. We need to look at what we can do going forward and come up with ideas of what we want to see. If it is one of those things where we want to continue with those same lights and those same displays that we have, then we need to make a conscious decision and a united decision that we're going to send them off and have them completely reworked, completely worked over, and understand that it could be almost as costly as the price of what they were 25 years ago. Remember, on top of what we've paid, that $8,000, $5,000, $8,000 I referenced, that's labor alone that was paid to Mrs. Clark. That's not including the $500 per box, because they are commercial lights. And a box doesn't go very far. Frank, would you say maybe a couple of those fixtures tops? And so there are some, Frank and I did talk, there are some of those that are very salvageable, but we need to have a discussion on what we want to do going forward so that the city isn't continuing to pour money into something that is just continuing to cost us incredible amounts of redundant fees. So to that, I'll open it up for discussion.
What part of the percentage of the lights are bad? Do we know that?
I know when they were put away last year, there were quite a few that were out already. I know pardon my descriptions, but the boy and the girl that threw the ball back and forth, I know the ball wasn't lighting on 2 or 3 of the units, and I'm not even gonna pretend like I know how they're lit.
That's on the time, that's on the.
It's timing and it is what it is. But you've got things like that. You've got where an arm is maybe not illuminated and it started illuminated. Again, things like the ducks at the pond will nibble on the wires. Frank's had where, you know, he calls it kitchen laundry. They'll go with unplug some or they'll pull some of the lights out of their fittings. But then again, we also have vandalism where they've been cut and over the years have had to be taped back together. And so I don't know that I could give you a percent of what works, what doesn't work, but I know.
I think she put a lot of those lights there are LED, which they'll last a little longer and stuff. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them are LED, right?
No, actually, I don't.
She didn't,
No, the lights we bought last year were not LED.
It's gonna be too expensive and more money to go straight LED.
Okay.
Because of all the colors. You know, the boy wearing blue jeans, orange
Sure.
shirt, and so, and that's why you couldn't just go to Walmart and buy,
LED lights.
you know.
Okay. She had talked about
And the
LEDs.
snowflakes, I think, were adapted over to LED.
Mhm.
And, but I couldn't tell you, like he asked on, when we put them up, you know, that's, in the daytime, we're ready to give them up. I couldn't tell you what was working and what's, every year, there's like 50 of them.
Mhm.
So Frank, they're currently stored in your shop down by the tennis courts. So to piggyback what you're asking about revamping them or re-looking at them, we're going to have to somebody's got to get them all out.
Correct.
Again, anyway. And
Lay them out.
lay them
plug
out,
in.
hook them up, see what works and doesn't work.
Yep.
It's
So-
gonna be a pretty extensive deal.
So is that gonna be done this winter while it's kind of slow for you and they're already inside, or are you gonna wait till?
Not with the playground and other projects we got going on, not for, we don't have, we don't like, we have room right now, playground equipment in the shop, plus,
You're gonna do the bathrooms.
Have we ever utilized the Placer AI data to say this is what we got last year or the year before, however far back that we can go compared to what we got this year when we didn't have anything at all, just to see?
I mean, like how many, the traffic through there?
Mm-hmm.
I think we could pull that up and see if there's, Adam, you're kind of the expert on that Placer
I
stuff.
think if we're gonna expend a bunch of money, let's understand what we're expending money for, or if it's a good expenditure of money. I like the holiday display lights as much as anybody, but did we notice a difference in traffic in the park one year versus the other when we didn't have them?
I mean, especially given now that we do not have them, we have a comparison to go back.
Right.
So we can run that report and do like a week-long.
Might wait till,
comparison back to a year.
But we
might
gotta-
wait till the end of the holiday
We gotta give
season,
it 30
but
days anyway,
yeah.
so. Placer's about 30 days behind, right? I think there's a little lag, so.
I just wonder if there's a company that we could look into that would put them up, take them down for us and put them out.
Well, one of the discussions, I'm glad you said that, one of the discussions was, and I visited with some of the other communities, you know, throughout various places in Oklahoma that have Christmas lights. How would the council feel about finding a citizen committee that would step up and volunteer to take those over? You know, in a lot of communities, the response I got back, and I'm not saying I'm advocating one way or the other, I'm just saying the response I got back was typically the chamber takes care of those lights or something like that, where you've got to, it's not the Parks Department.
I hadn't thought about that. The chamber would be just perfect for that, wouldn't it?
No, but they'll want reimbursement for it through the hotel motel tax, so.
Yeah.
Waiting
Yeah,
for that.
that'd be the problem, wouldn't it?
I mean, if it's, hotel motel tax exists for a reason. We are
Well, we've got
reimbursing, but
people that do a little bit of everything. That's why I was asking if there's some company to pursue. And the chamber could look into it. They got plenty of time.
I'm not real sure, but were those made in Wagner? Is that company that has the Wagner?
I think originally the guy was, I want to say Broken Arrow.
Was he?
But then he moved off like Washington.
Well, and I remember that was one of the things that Becky kept saying was that she was, and again, not to poke the situation, but there was never any bidding or we never went out for bids, never sought other people, never did anything that we've been working hard on for the last year. Because Becky claimed that she was the only one in the United States that could do that.
Well, there
She
was
was a sole source, and the guy, when he left to go to Washington, said, Becky, you're the only one that knows how to do this, and you're the sole source. But
I know that they have similar decorations in Wagner, down on 69, down around Walmart and different parks and
Sure,
stuff
some
there.
of the control boxes on the ones that move, but overall, they're probably the same, you know, kind.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say to the point of the citizens or private industry, as a city, realistically, are we ever gonna give it enough money to make it be a great holiday display? It might be good, but are we ever gonna take it from good to great? I think private industry is, or private citizens is probably what's gonna make that better,
I think so.
personally.
I think I'd like to.
We're gonna do enough to maintain.
Right. I'd like to kind of personally put it out to the public and see who would be willing to be a part of that. If there is maybe, you know, a civic group or I don't know.
Well, now, I know one that's pretty good on about everything.
What's that? Well, I was gonna say,
She's totally ignoring us on her phone.
Yep, she does a lot more than that.
Nina, you're gonna take over the Christmas light decoration.
I would suggest you already that.
Good luck.
It's time to
Well-
step up. Now put it off to somebody else, raise your hand.
well, while we're at it, we'll just throw McBride and McBride on it and they can.
Yeah.
Right? No, I think maybe it's something that we
just went up.
take a little bit of time to ponder on our own on what we feel is the best option. We want to do something. We want to be able to provide that opportunity to create memories. You know, that's why we do all of these wholesome things in our community, the activities, you know, the Freedom Fest, the events, the music, is to create opportunities and quality of life. And I think that there is an element of creating those memories for kids and by golly, for the adults too that have been a part of that. So I'm pointing to you because I know you're passionate about it, and I respect that. But I think maybe we need to really consider and not take too long, and come back before spring with what we want to do and how we want to do that. And if we want to get the community involved and maybe put it out and say, you know, a lot of these light shows that are out there, and I'm not advocating for a light show, but they give a tree to an organization and let that organization decorate that tree. They let, the Optimist Club put up a light display on something, or they let everybody have a part of that. We don't want organized chaos. We want something that's appropriate, but I think we just need to be mindful that the amount of money we're putting into lights that are continuing to decay is really starting to add up. I went on to Cassell and I looked, and the number, when you pull up that particular vendor that we were just talking about from 2018, and that's as far back as we can go because they did a purge, Cassell purged data, 31,000 in labor alone to that.
She usually started about, what, August, September?
Usually the day after, she would wait and watch the budget, and once the budget was approved, she would be at our shop the next day getting the first number.
Now,
Yep.
I also want to give credit where credit is due. Last year, we did have Bank of Commerce, the Hawkins Family Foundation. There were a lot of public entities that did, or not public, private, I guess is what you'd say, that did pony up quite a bit of money to make that happen. Unfortunately, this year, it did not. There were too many things, and the cost is really outweighing the practicality of what we have. So, further discussion on that?
Just need to get something going.
We do. I don't want to wait till August to have a discussion. I'd like to bring it back maybe in a few council meetings, and if anybody in the public wants to come to my office and talk about it, I'm all ears. So, that said, we'll go ahead and move on to item B.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
can we take a 5-minute break before we continue?
Yes, we can.
Thank you.
We will take a 5-minute break. I'll start the timer.
Thank you.
We just need a red light that says on air, right? So, our luck is the light would light and the mic would go off. So the idea is by combining those projects into one, that next item M, when we get to there, that 9,210 is actually a credit, that we get that back. But, what Buddy realized on this was that it was the wrong account. It listed, sorry to answer your question. All of the main pipes are buried. The ground is covered up. They'll come back in before they're done. They'll smooth it out and sod will be laid. I would imagine that sod will probably be laid when it's not 30 degrees outside. So there may be a time where we have to wait for the contractor to come back to do that. But other than that, they've still got to do the drain. Help me out. The inlets, thank you. So it looks like those are just big holes sticking up out of the ground. Right now they are. I was told that they're supposed to start pouring concrete on those tomorrow. And those will be cut down and lowered so that as the water comes across there, it'll drop down into the ground and then it'll drain out to the south. And then also there at 10th Street on where the water collects at the junction of the older road and the newer road. That has actually been set lower so that the water will wrap around the curb and go down in and drain out. So the projected goal is that water will no longer puddle up there and bury cars as they go through. So, and it looks pretty good as of today. It looks pretty good. So they're more or less working right on traffic.
Till it's sodded, and this might be a question for Engineer Jared there, but till it's sodded, as they set the concrete, I mean.
So just be aware, they're gonna cut it, I mean, what they've got is rough graded right now, okay?
Yeah.
They're gonna come out and dig up some of that because sod ain't gonna grow on that clay.
Right.
They'll probably cut out some, put a little topsoil on top, drop it down about 3 inches because, 3.5 inches because when you lay sod, that's what you get about. And they'll probably lay it once they get the inlet set, because if not, you're gonna have these inlets up this way and you're gonna have it
Right.
where the sod would be laid. Without the sod, it's gonna be here, but with the sod, it would drain in. So you're gonna see it, it's gonna look dead, it's gonna sit there and lay dormant until growing season, and then they'll come back and have to water it when it gets super hot, or when it gets warm, and they'll water it real good, and then it'll take hold.
So the clay ought to be all packed down and not have to settle and.
The clay, they'll
That was
come
my-
in and fine, grade it once they set their inlets, and then grade it where they'll be able to get their sod in.
Okay.
And
See,
it's
it
gonna
doesn't
look
sell
dead, I mean,
electricity.
sod ain't growing right now, it's gonna lay dormant.
Right. That, I was just worried about settle and washout was all.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, last thing you do is you wanna put those inlets in and then.
Everything go around
And
it.
then if you don't have the sod in, and you're like this, where your sod's gonna be right here, then you're gonna have that little
Right.
TF and it's, somebody just gonna fall and break an ankle. Roll it, at least.
All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Thanks for the update.
Yep. All right. Call for the vote.
Mayor,
Yeah.
Hannah, would you please make note that on the POs, the correct numbers, account numbers put on those POs?
Yes, I think Darla's already corrected that on the PO.
Okay, okay. Just the agenda was what was,
Yes, that's
Okay.
fine.
thank you.
Trammell,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes,
Shropshire,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Okay, and then item M, approve PRY 2403 Elliott Street Drainage Improvement Change Order Number 1 in the amount of $9,210 to JNS Construction. That one as well will go to 141455092.
Motion.
Second.
So this one, we're not taking money from, we're adding money to.
Correct.
Okay.
You call for the vote.
Steve,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
yes,
Shropshire,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Trammell.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll go back to the mayor's report. Item B, there will be no action on. Item C.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
can we not have some discussion on this?
We're not prepared for that discussion right now.
The
So,
park board discussed it last night,
right.
so why can't we
They also
discuss
took
it?
no action. So there's not a decision to be discussed right now on that. This is gonna ask us to take one of those two, and the park board has not made that decision yet. The only reason it's on here was a placeholder. Should the park board have made that decision, then we could have gone forward with that.
Well, I'd still like some discussion.
What if we could do our discussions, so the park board could receive what we're thinking and add it on to their, what they're doing?
Do we have any problems having that discussion, even though they did not make a decision on that?
You guys, you can discuss whatever you want.
All right, we can have a discussion on it, absolutely.
Okay,
Somebody has to make a motion.
Someone has to vote.
I'll make a motion that we have discussion concerning the golf cart.
We have a motion from Terry and a second from Bruce.
Okay. For transparency purposes, for those that did not attend the park board meeting and/or watch it, can you please clarify why it was told to not have any action on it?
Yeah, there's a couple reasons.
Give some background on it.
One, there's a lot of unsureties that the park board had. That's ultimately the reasoning. You know, clearly the club cars, their amount is $237,345, and the Yamahas are $312,336. When the bids came in, they all got the same specs. The bid packet went out just like it was supposed to. The questions were related to certain things like the Yamaha has a quieter motor, the club car resale value versus this, all of these things, and ultimately it was that the park board has told Mr. Bowman to bring in one of each so they can actually come and see. If the bid packet was done correctly, which I feel like it was, before he left, I talked to Dale, who did that bid packet, and he said he bid it through the correct way. I think that's the appropriate thing to do. And I would also invite, when that is set up and they're down there at the golf course, that you guys go down and not all at the same time, please. That would be a little bit of a problem, and I don't want to have a special meeting for that. But take time and go down and ride them and use them and listen to them and see if you guys feel the same way about the decision at that point.
So will you notify the council when that?
Yeah, when Mr. Bowman lets us know when those are in, and that was my instruction to him, was to let me know when we do that so that I could have you guys there. And in all honesty, you know, you'd test drive a car. Now I will say that some of those discussions were resale values, and for those that watched the meeting last night, you'll know that Google was the star component of the show last night. Every question they had, they went to Google over, except for the resale values. And when I did look up, you know, does the Yamaha have a better resale value than the club car? Google was very adamant that club car is by far the better resale value because of its aluminum frame and those things, but it was presented otherwise. So my encouragement was, rather than sitting here all night and beating the bush with the argument in the park board, let's get them in. Let's look and see if it really is a better, quieter, more effective cart, then it'll speak for itself. And so I think my encouragement is, let's go down and test drive them and see.
You keep saying quieter. Who gives a crap about how quiet they are?
Well,
It's a
30 minutes of the
freaking
park,
golf cart
well,
on the golf course.
right, but 30 minutes of the park board was dedicated to the decibels of the golf cart.
Why?
Well,
I mean,
let's go to the subject matter experts on this, because I am not a
you
subject
play
matter
golf.
expert.
I mean,
Chase, you're adamant.
I plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth. Jared, you're adamant golfer, right?
I just care as long as there's a cup holder in it.
I knew you were gonna go there.
There it goes.
So, Mr. Mayor, was the decibel issue in the bid packet that it had to be a certain decibel?
Dale said he bid it exactly like it was put through, so
So the bidding was done properly,
Correct.
but yet they prefer the higher priced one.
Mr. Bowman does, yes.
Okay.
Mayor, is
The decision
And
was
was
not,
the-
the decision was not made last night. So
Right. And was the issue of the add-on of the GPS, was that in the bid packet?
was not part of the bid.
It was not part of the bidding.
That's a separate item all in of itself.
I was hoping Dennis would be here tonight to ask, because I'm sure not a golfer, not a golf cart expert at all. Who opened the bids on these?
They were opened, here on, I don't remember the day they were opened, but Darla was here, Dale was here.
Okay, they
And,
were open.
yeah, it was, procedure was 100% followed on that. And only one of the companies was present. Club Car was present.
My biggest question, I got two or three, but my biggest one is, since we, I think, made a wise move on the police cars of leasing them instead of buying them, why don't we do the golf carts then?
We pretty much are. So we're
If you're
doing,
a lease purchase, that's not the same thing as just leasing them and then turning them back in, where we own them.
well, there's not really, from what I understand, there's not really an option to do it that way. You don't, it's not like, you know, when you go to your Cadillac dealer and lease a Cadillac. So what we have
What I
to do is,
read on Google, there is. And
there may
also,
be, like I said, I'm not aware of that, so.
you know,
That's probably a vendor question, is if we can get it set up. But, I mean, like, the police cars were leasing for an amount of time and then automatically renewing to another, and it's a perpetual.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're doing.
That's what you're saying, same thing, it's just perpetual
Yeah.
update every so often.
That's what I was curious, why we didn't go that route and see if that would save some money.
Sure, we can definitely
But the
look.
biggest question I've got is why are we hung up on gasoline instead of electric?
Well, I will tell you, for one, the gasoline cars are way more effective. They are way more price effective. When you start getting into the electric ones and you have to buy those batteries, and typically there's 2, 3, Tyler, would you say?
Well, there'll be more.
Depends on if you're doing lithium or if you're doing the,
Right. If you're doing lithium, you got a whole deal there, but those batteries are $300-400 a piece.
so they're 48 volts, so you're gonna have 4 12 volts or.
Yeah.
Is somebody
Six,
The
eight.
who,
market right now is about 85% in 2023 electric, so somebody decided, Oklahoma City replaced their gas with electric in 1990. So there must be something to the electric.
Well,
And if you,
there is, I'm sure.
If you did the procedure I'm talking about by leasing them, you wouldn't have to worry about your battery, because the battery would be gone in 3 or 4 years, you're gonna release them and redo them again anyway. And they're quieter, and they're cheaper. Do we know how much money we took in on golf cart rentals last year?
That I couldn't tell you that right off the
You got
fly.
any idea, guess at all?
We'd have to dig
See,
in.
gasoline is gonna be more expensive because we spent $40,000 on gas maintenance on gas cars golf carts last year. And electric are cheaper because there's less moving parts, they're quieter, but people have a noise problem. I'm just curious about it.
Well, like I said, I know there was a good 30 minutes of the conversation dedicated to what the sound of 10 decibels
Well-
is.
I guess we could put a solar farm in out there to charge the electric bill.
Yeah,
Hey, yeah.
do that.
Yes, sir.
well, I don't golf much, but I've worked on enough golf carts to know that if decibels is what you're worried about, go electric. But the only problem with electric is if you do the proper maintenance on gasoline engines, the ones that are there, you should get 15 to 20 years out of one year. I know that's apparently owning a golf cart for more than 5 years for a golf course is way too much, but
It's not
if
the
it's
motor
suited-
issue,
it's-
though. It's
I
the-
know, right.
Yeah.
But
Drivers.
let's say you get I just had to quote a customer not too long ago about replacing a motor, the actual drive motor on a golf cart, and you might as well just trash the thing.
What we're talking about, we're not talking about keeping it forever. We're talking
Oh, no, I
about
agree,
taking it
but let's say we get one that's 3 years old
Yeah.
and a motor goes out.
No, that's what he
That's
said,
my
he doesn't
question.
wanna own them, lease them.
Yeah.
And then we don't own them, and it's
We
not
don't
our
own
problem,
them,
it's
we're
the
leasing.
leasee's problem, or the
Yeah,
leaser's problem.
So, Mayor,
That's a whole nother issue, but I'm just saying between the two.
so the language on here says that it's to purchase 60 new golf carts. So are we purchasing them outright, or are we lease purchasing them? Because there's different language on the bank
Yeah.
quotes.
Anything right now, you did a motion just to discuss.
Yeah.
Right.
Right,
So when we say,
but is it a purchase, or is it do we own them outright, or is it a lease?
so no, it is what we call a lease purchase. So trying to think of the best way to word this, to do a loan, banker, if you ever want to step into the conversation, I'm gonna phone a friend.
We're gonna,
Hang on, let's do this. Let's go to the subject matter expert. Can you explain the difference between a purchase and a lease purchase and a lease?
So a lease purchase is the way under Oklahoma law that municipalities can borrow money. That's the difference. It's a loan to purchase it, but under Oklahoma law, it is called a lease purchase.
Because you can't commit yourself from one fiscal year to the next.
From one fiscal year to another, so that there's a lease aspect of it, that it is purchased by the lender, and then the city makes those payments renewable every year, and at the end of it, when all of those lease payments are made, the title transfers to the city. But it is not like the leasing that you're doing with Enterprise.
Enterprise, correct.
That is different than this, but it's a loan, but it is an annually renewable lease.
Right, like our police Tahoes and such that we've bought in the past are a lease purchase. So it's that basically we're paying back the bank for those vehicles.
We own them.
You own them.
Right,
They're yours, you maintain them, you decide whether you want to sell one or keep it. If you sell one, you have to pay that portion off, but it is yours at the end of the day. With a lease, title never really transfers to you.
we have no equity.
okay.
Does that help?
We're just using it.
Correct. All right, further discussion on that?
Thank God.
And the mics are on.
I could come up with something else. I've got to remove it.
All right, item C.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that for a discussion for a couple of questions about this.
All right, let me read it out. Discussion and possible action to accept a financing or lease purchase quote to be recommended by the park board for 60 new golf carts for a 48-month term. Quotes received, Bank of Commerce at a rate of 4.25, First Priority at a rate of 5.75, and RCB Bank at a rate of 4.23. Discussion.
Motion.
Do you have
We have to make a motion,
Yeah.
for
Yes.
discussion?
yes. So I make the motion for the discussion.
I'll
Okay.
second for you.
Okay, motion from Terry and a second from Tyler.
My question is, when we bid the golf carts at that bid opening, were the quotes from the different lending institutions done on a sealed bid also?
No, and those typically are not done through sealed bids. They're just bids that are sent in.
How are they, what's the city's procedure for doing that?
We go out, they typically go out, they ask the banks for those quotes. The banks mail or hand deliver those quotes, and they're presented.
And are they presented all at the same time, or are they sending it whatever,
They send it when they get it.
when they get it?
So the quote from Bank of Commerce did not come at the same time that the quote for RCB came, nor did the one at First Priority come. So,
Since the banking industry is so competitive on their rates and everything, what is wrong with asking that those be sealed also? So where there's no any possibility of any improprieties? If they're just sending an email
there is
a
none.
month ahead of time and somebody else sends theirs in later on,
Get an expert back there, you gotta quit.
To my knowledge, you would be the only community in the state of Oklahoma that does that. Everybody else does it just like you guys do now. The department head or mayor or whoever reaches out to the lenders, says, here's what we've got. Can you provide a bid, and it's by a certain date, and they're sent in, and I mean, that's how it's handled
okay.
everywhere else. So if you go that route, you are overly complicating, I think, the
Well,
process that nobody else.
I agree. I think what we're doing is creating a system for ourselves that
Okay.
just makes a nightmare out of it. So, any further discussion on that?
No.
Okay. Item D, discussion and possible action regarding the allocation of funds held from the sale of surplus properties as the matching funds for the 2026 Main Street Incentive Program for improvements to the Graham Building. This action was recommended by the EDTA. Gravel pit, 44 000 4181 42 812 50. That is the February 18th 25 council minutes. The PYO cell, 44 000 4181 43 7 1405 for March 4th, totaling $86,606.55 that's in that account.
Motion?
Second.
We have a motion from Choi and a second from Tyler. So part of the Main Street incentive grant that we got, the city has to match the $150,000. So those are funds that were dedicated for that. That's right where they're at. Terry, take a note. That's the account you keep asking us for. It's right there. So that would be saying that to match that grant that was that incentive program that is dedicated and designed for the Graham Building's remodeling, I guess is what you want to call it, that would be $86,606.55 of that $150 we have to match.
I know this was up for discussion at several different times during those council meetings, and I am glad to see that our clairvoyance paid off for us to get a grant to actually apply this in the proper place that we had intended for. I know that it was kind of a hot button topic, but I'm glad to see that it's working out for us.
Sure, that's, yes. Thank you. I didn't get that the way it sounded.
No.
All right. Call for the vote.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Item E, discussion and possible action to allocate funds from Fund 68 in the amount of $63,393.45 for the remainder of matching funds required by the 2026 Main Street Incentive Program for improvements to the Graham Building. This action was recommended and approved by the EDTA.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion from Brashears and a second from Terry. We'll give it to Terry.
So question.
Yeah.
So are we taking the 86,606 and some change and adding the 6393 to that plus the grant of 150,000?
Yes.
So that makes it a total,
300?
so add those three numbers together and we'll have our total of what we have then.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to match the 150, and so that's our 150.
And then what is the plan for
For that,
going forward since we've allocated this money?
right, so the fine-tuned logistics and our EDTA and Main Street can step up at any point if they feel so, but I think I got this one. We've got, well, come on. So the idea is that we're gonna start with the main entrance hallway and the grand building. I don't know what you wanna call the grand room, the
Banquet hall.
The banquet room.
banquet room. And then we would probably look at some of the arts downstairs office space, do a little bit of renovation there. The priority, maybe.
That's
Not even
phase two.
priority. I said
That's
the-
phase two.
Phase two, whatever, if we get there. But the idea that in that order is the community room, the banquet room, and that entrance hallway.
Yes.
How about the kitchens?
Yes,
That,
catering kitchen.
Definitely that, huh?
yeah.
Okay.
So we just need to get in there and see what that money will cover. But we're pretty sure that we can get at least that hallway and the main room completely taken care of.
So this first step was to meet the deadlines that Main Street had put out and the Department of Commerce, right? About proving that we had the ability to match that grant. So we have until the 31st to do that proof. So that was going through the EDTA to get this recommendation, now to council to get that recommendation. Then Bridget can show Department of Commerce that yes, the money is allocated, the money is there, and then we can go to the next phase. Bridget has already gotten some design elements and some structural engineering, and then some rough quotes
Rough
from
quotes, very rough.
the architect. So then we can take that, and then Main Street can move forward, get the right parties engaged so that we can get this project going. But none of that has been done yet.
When did you have these meetings with these people
Oh, gosh.
and who all was involved in
This
it?
started in the
Various
spring.
times throughout.
So it's several months ago. This
Yes.
isn't something brand new with the
No,
group
this
sitting
is,
down of what needs to be done.
this is all the stuff that's
Okay.
gone through the EDTA and city council
So-
from the EDTA, or from the council's directive to the EDTA to start this process.
And there was a rough draft spreadsheet, kind of a rough spreadsheet of estimated cost, I think.
Yes,
And-
to
But
apply
nothing
for the incentive.
since then, actually sitting down with the
No,
people
the
to
only
come
thing
up
that's
with.
happened since then has been, we received the award, and the EDTA acknowledged the award amount, and now council.
Right. That's
Okay.
why I say that rough, we know roughly what we're prioritizing, but, you know, like the structural engineer, that was, you were there for that one.
Yes, I was.
That was where you got creative. And so we, I think just over a year, putting that data together.
Okay.
And that's where we're at now.
So what's the next step then as far as actually setting down and who is going to be setting down to go over the building, look at,
It'll be much like the streetscape, where we'll form a committee that will help advise on that location. We'll be working with the Oklahoma Finance Authority and with the Department of Commerce as far as funding and the timing of those fundings along through the EDTA.
And we remember the directives that we were given in the past about, I believe the council appointed Mr. Lamar as their representative as we were going through those design phases. So I think that would make sense that you would be brought into that. We talked at that point about,
Mr. Shawless, I don't mean to be rude, but it's hard to overhear them whenever you speak in the background.
and then we had talked at, at the EDTA about bringing in some of the arts and humanities people to get their input. We need to talk with them and see if there's anything to do with that before we move into that phase 2 in the front. But those are the discussions that we've been having about how this would be formed.
I think right now, kind of the phase, or the step that we're in on that is, we're trying to identify who would be the best possible people to be on that committee without having too many people. We want to make sure that we hit it good with the right, so that's where we're at, and I could say probably within the last week, we've had that conversation,
okay.
so.
And I want to say thank you to Bridget for all your hard work in putting this packet together for submitting the grant application for us, because you made it happen.
My pleasure.
And thank you very much. And a lot of other people went into it too, Adam, and
Yes.
lots of folks, but you made the grant happen. Thank you.
Bridget found this grant and made it happen, so she gets all the credit.
Yep. What a wonderful resource we have. Thank you.
Bet.
We appreciate you both. We appreciate you both. Throw that out there. All right. Further discussion? Call for the vote.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Item 5, City Attorney's Report, second reading, discussion and possible approval of an ordinance of the City of Pryor Creek, Oklahoma, granting a non-exclusive permit to Clarity Telecom LLC, DBA Blue Peak, for the construction and operation of a cable system. Note, a vote of majority of all of the members of the council shall be required for final passage of this ordinance pursuant to 11-102. If passed, this ordinance shall be published once in a newspaper of general circulation in the city of Pryor and shall not take effect until 30 days after such publication pursuant to section 20 and 65 of the Charter of City of Pryor Creek, Oklahoma.
So motion to table. And I will explain why if I can get a second. Or motion for no action.
Can we discuss if we do either one of those? I think we have.
I think he can explain his motion. He wants to do that, doing it.
You want to just explain that motion?
So I've been on the phone, and I have nothing against Blue Peak. I just wanted to slow this train down and make sure we're making the right decision for the community. I've been on the phone a lot today with a lot of people. We have a local company who is already providing services to the downtown area. There is a reason why they can't provide it to the rest of the community right now, but that reason should be going away next year. So I would like to put this in the purview of the EDTA to take a look at all options for providing this type of service across the community. And let them come back with a recommendation on what way to go. Nothing against Blue Peak, nothing against our local provider, FIT. But I will tell you that if FIT just came right out and told me today they will probably have to go out of business if we don't at least consider them for this. And I think that would be a horrible injustice to take one of our local communities and drive them into bankruptcy, simply because we're going with a company that is not even located in the city of Pryor. So again, I want to turn this over to EDTA. Let EDTA do its magic that it's always done, very similar to the cell phone towers, and then let it come back with a recommendation to this council on how to proceed.
Do you have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, I disagree, because I don't think that that's what we're doing. We are not setting up a provider for the city. We are allowing private industries to compete within the city and fair market. That's all our ordinance is doing, and it's non-exclusive, so it's not running anybody out of business. If their business model doesn't support clientele, then their business model doesn't support the clientele. But I think from my council person perspective, we need to offer our citizens the best value they can get for the product and let them have free market choice. If Fit can't provide it to the rest of the city, that's not a great choice for the rest of the citizens that aren't living in downtown, and that's not very many that live downtown. I don't think what we're doing tonight is anything other than saying, and the attorney can speak and back me up or correct me, but all we're doing is saying we're allowing private industry to exist in Pryor for cable services.
But we're specifying Blue Peak.
Well, the ordinance is giving Blue Peak authority to come into Pryor, is what it's doing. Not that Pryor is going to.
But it's not an exclusive,
Correct.
it's not saying Blue Peak is the exclusive provider in.
Correct. It's just giving them access to Pryor to compete.
Would it be a problem to not get in a hurry and let EDTA look at it like we did the cell phone towers to see if there is a problem or not a problem?
Yes, there is a problem with that, I think. There was specific timelines that were given by Blue Peak in order to meet things, and what are we accomplishing by sending it to the EDTA? I don't personally think that that's what the EDTA is designed for. It's designed for economic development. This, honestly, in my mind, has nothing to do with economic development. If it
Well, I
did
think
have anything with
everything
economic
to do.
development, it would be that we're providing internet services all over the community instead of one downtown corridor. That's my personal opinion. If we kick the can down the road by kicking it to EDTA, we miss an opportunity of possibly bringing in a great resource for the citizens at a better value.
But I don't know if this is a great resource. And I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm saying we need to do due diligence before we make this decision.
This would be
But
similar
we're-
to having Walmart and Kmart competing with each other. I dated myself, I understand that. But
We're not
we
telling a
allow
private
Walmart
citizen.
to come in, but we don't allow Kmart to come in.
In a way.
We're not telling a private citizen which industry or which provider they have to use. We're opening up the doors for which providers are available to them. Is that fair?
Yeah, you guys, so under, and I don't have it pulled up, I'm ready for this today, but in doing the research, when I was deciding, because previously we talked about your charter requires franchises to have a vote, but there's a federal law on it. So somewhere in that federal law, I'm going back from memory because I don't have it with me, is you're supposed to be well-informed in your decision-making, whatever that means. But that's the theory and why the council should be able to trump the charter over voting to the people, as the populace may not be as well-informed regarding such a niche area.
To that end,
Now, whether
don't
you're
we already
being
have,
informed enough or not, that's,
aren't there other providers in town that provide this service?
there's at least one.
There's Fit that's downtown. I have Vive
Yeah.
at my house.
Yeah.
There's probably two.
There's, I thought AT&T existed in parts, but I may be wrong.
I've got
That I
it.
don't know.
Right, so I don't, what are we, I don't understand what
Now you
the
all got
issue is.
lost now. Is this just adding another player to the game?
Yes.
It's not restricting anybody?
It's not
No, this
restricting
doesn't
anybody.
restrict
What,
anybody at all.
what-
It's giving them permission to come in, that's what it is.
Yeah.
what
Because
we,
they have to give municipal permission to use your, basically the, where all your lines and everything are, and giving them authority under the franchise.
so here's basically, and Jared's met with them just as much as I have, if not probably a little bit more. What sets Fit and Blue Peak aside from Vive and what's the other one?
AT&T.
AT&T, and then there's Bolt or whatever it is that Fit and Blue Peak are fiber optic. So basically, they're gonna put a piece of glass to every property. And if that piece of glass is there and it's going through Fit, that piece of glass will service Blue Peak if that customer wants it. The idea is that that fiber optic has to be there. The technology of that fiber optic is that that fiber optic can carry incredibly faster and incredibly larger amounts of data more efficiently than the coaxial or the telephone lines. And so what you're looking at, and I'm gonna say it right now, Fit is a fabulous company run by fabulous people. I have nothing ill or wrong to say of them. They're great people, we love them. They take care of us every single day. What I'm saying is fiber optic is the direction that the technology is going. You will see the phone lines phased out. You will eventually see coaxial phased out. Those that are using Starlink, and I think, Jared, you brought this up, it's a great fact that a lot of people don't think about. Starlink does not fall anywhere in our utility easements. We make money on the things that run through those easements. So if you're just pointing a satellite dish at the sky, we're not collecting anything on that. And we're not in this to provide utilities through our poles, our ground, our easements, and not make anything on it. That's part of that deal. That's why MUB has pole attachment agreements. That does not charge the customer. That's $12 per pole and some change per pole for everybody that touches it. Some of those poles have a 4 and 5, 2, 3, whatever companies on it. So that again is where the city is collecting revenues. MUBs for collecting revenues. As they go through, they're going to have to run into some situations where they have to clean up things that are underground that we don't know about. They've already identified a lot of the aerial attachments and things. They've identified what they can do, what the game plan is already out there. What this is saying is, our charter, in my opinion, is a little antiquated again, where we are saying one and done. We're not gonna allow any free trade. We're not gonna allow any marketing to happen. We've got the one we have and that's all we want. And I don't think that that's fair to.
That's not what your charter says.
When we say we don't want any other franchises, unless we have a vote of the people, right?
Oh, it just says it has to be approved by the people.
Right.
I think the supremacy clause, and I pulled all this up we were talking on, so I found that case, it's Key West Broadband, it's out of the District Court of Colorado, which Ben from MUB, actually, I don't know if you found the case, but his interpretation of the law was the same as mine on that after reviewing it. And it's that this Federal Communications Act will be the supremacy law over our charter regarding who has to approve it. And I don't think that the people can qualify as the governmental entity under that interpretation. So I think that's how it falls on you guys. And I think the reason for that is you guys can, I don't want to say this without insulting the population, you guys are supposed to be more educated in your decision making than the votes and for purposes of this specific act. That's the theory. I'm not saying you guys are smarter.
Chase,
For sure.
this,
Please don't fire me.
do I understand that this is doing nothing but adding another competitor to this business?
It's a non-exclusive grant, yes.
So it's gonna give me a chance at 4 or 5 instead of a chance at 1, if I wanna use it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's non-exclusive. It doesn't limit anybody else, but it does bring somebody else or gives them permission to come in.
By not passing it, we are limiting who is allowed here.
Yes.
Then just get rid of the whole thing and let anybody come in. I mean, that's the solution.
Well, in theory,
Essentially, it
you
is.
don't want everybody to come
But-
in because somebody might come in who's not qualified and won't do a good job. And if that's what you think about Blue Peak, then you would vote no.
No, I'm not saying anything positive or
But I'm
negative
not
about
saying,
Blue
but
Peak.
that's in theory why you wouldn't just give a blanket anybody come in, is because when you're dealing with a utility communication, I guess, in this situation.
I think we just steamrolled this and weren't doing our due diligence.
So what you're saying is if we have a Glover and Associates version of Blue Peak, we can say no. You catch my drift.
Um,
Sorry to bring that up, but it's a.
there's a subpar person that you don't think will provide good service. I think this is a way to keep them out under the Communications Act. Whether or not you think Blue Peak isn't, don't know, that's how you deal with this. And I think Trammell's saying he doesn't know yet. Some are saying yes, some are saying nothing, so that's where you're at.
Okay, I've got a question about the language in the italics. And I know we've talked about this before, but I want to clarify it again because the mayor has specifically wanted this language in here every time we do something about an ordinance. But again, this is the language that the mayor wanted in here, that this ordinance shall be published in a newspaper of general circulation in the city of Pryor. Which newspaper does general circulation in the city of Pryor
You wanna say
that
that a little
does
louder?
legal notices?
Yeah, for clarification, I wanted that in there. I will say that.
Okay,
As far as what paper, nobody knows is the answer.
what newspaper of record has the city been using for any kind of legal notices since this, in the past couple months?
We've been going to Claremore.
Okay, so based on that, and based on Chase here, does the Claremore Daily Progress have general circulation in the city of Pryor Creek?
I don't know.
So that is not in that's possible in conflict with,
Possibly.
So that's kind of what we're in the middle of trying to figure out right now.
Right.
Chase has been working with other attorneys throughout the city.
I think against other attorneys would be the.
And
yes, and I was present at that court hearing too, and I know that there's motions for discovery and blah, 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 so it's probably gonna drag on out a while.
Right. It's possible, and that's what we've identified already in the past, is that we need to at least do our part and get these ordinances to where whenever that is available and that can be fulfilled, it's done as quick as we can.
So then this ordinance wouldn't even be able to become effective, maybe for months.
Or years.
Right, what did we decide that meeting was like
We don't know.
124 days or something?
So there's a couple different theories floating around right now, none of which have been put into paper. I'll tell you kind of where things are at. So Pryor is, I've gone over this a little bit before with you guys. Pryor is in a slightly different situation than say the county, or even some of the other municipalities. So county, other municipalities, probates, foreclosures, things like that, all have to publish, but the way that you publish are under different statutes. So what makes Pryor unique is our charter doesn't say publish under state law, it specifically says how we publish, and it specifically says add a paper in Pryor, which puts us in a bind if there's not a paper in Pryor. So that's the issue that is currently before the court. Based on an email today, I don't know that we're gonna get a ruling in that till the summer. There's probably gonna be some more motions filed in that. There's a argument that if we cannot comply with our charter, then the charter is void. If it cannot be, not the entire thing, but that particular section, in which case we would declare more if we needed either one, which is probably where we're gonna have to lean, at least in the interim. But that's the situation we're in. As far as what the answer is, I don't know, we're in court. But I wish I did, because I don't want to be in court over that.
So is
There's a lot of touchy feelings in the legal community right now regarding this very issue, I can tell you.
Is there an urgency of passing this tonight, or can we table it?
Well, even if we approve it, nothing happens. We're just saying we've moved on to that next step, so we're still at the earliest gonna be, if
But we
there's,
still have a final vote on, this is not the final vote, is
This would be your final vote.
it? It is?
And
we
does
got a third
Blue
reading.
Peak know that situation?
yeah.
That it could be months, or it could,
Yes, they are aware of everything.
Don't we have 2, not 3 readings?
So I'll go ahead and change my motion into just regular discussion of possible approval. Just get this done.
Go ahead, the second,
Terry?
I did, but what's he amending it to?
as stated.
Yeah.
We didn't have this kind of problem back when
We had a paper?
Vive, no, I'm talking about the cable TV companies, and Vive, for example. They changed hands several times over the years.
Correct, but if I understand correctly, that franchise agreement was written so that whoever, it was originally with Charter, I believe, and it was written that whoever took their place. So when Cox came in and took Charter's place, that franchise automatically went to them. When Vive took Charter's place, and so on. So,
Okay, I'll amend the motion.
all right, call for the vote.
Tyler,
Yes.
Trammell,
No.
Brown,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
No.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Rushiers,
No.
All right, committee reports, budget personnel.
So pass or fail?
It passed.
Yes, 4-3.
Budget personnel.
13th of January.
Okay. Ordinance and insurance.
30th, and if anybody has anything they need discussed, I'd like you to get it to me real quick, because we don't meet again for, okay,
I do have 2 or 3 things.
okay.
All right, street and maintenance.
No meeting this month.
Didn't have one last month either, did you?
No.
When we have,
We're slacking.
Slackers.
All right,
now, Terry, we have to do the single action file.
That's right.
man, they're great. All right, I do have one item of unforeseeable business. I gave you guys a copy of 2 quotes that came in today. The street department had one of their overhead doors that they use. The motor went out completely and entirely. So this morning Buddy sent me, and you'll notice those are dated today. Well, they are today. So those came in today for the replacement of that door, and I didn't want him to have to wait till after the first of the year to get approval for that. So my recommendation would be that we use the Pryor overhead door for $32.46.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I have a motion from Troy and a second from Charles. Call for the vote.
Trammell,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Is that everybody? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
A motion from Charles,
Second.
second from Tyler. That said, we will call to order the Pryor Public Works
We
Authority.
need to vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, let's vote. I'm just getting all excited.
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
All right, sorry. Let's go ahead and call to order the Pryor Public Works Authority.
I'm gonna let you do this.
All right. Item 2, approve the minutes of the December 2nd, 2025 meeting.
Motion.
I have a motion from Rushiers,
Second.
second from Tyler Brown. Call for the vote.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
All right. Item 3, approve claims for purchase orders for the Pryor Public Works Authority through December 16th, 2025.
Motion.
Second.
Motion from Choya, second from Rushiers. Call for the vote.
Lamar,
Yes.
Shropshire,
Yes.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
We have no unforeseeable. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
A motion from Rushiers and a second from Tyler Brown. Call for that vote when you're ready.
Shropshire,
Yeah.
Rushiers,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Trammell,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Lamar.
Yes.